I love doing the yoga.
Good to see you guys.
Hey, Liz.
Hi, Brooke. Hey, Colleen. Hi, Garrett. Good to see you, Lindsay.
Oh, I might have muted you too, Brooke. Sorry.
No problem. Got it. You can hear me, hey?
Yep.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me for yoga tonight. So we will go ahead and get started. Make sure that you found a comfortable space for yourself where you have a little bit of room you can stretch out. And we'll go ahead and start just coming to a comfortable seated position. So you can cross the legs if that feels good. And as you're coming into that comfortable seated position, just allow the back of the hands to rest on the knee, palms facing up. And we'll start to close the eyes here. So we'll take a few minutes here just to start to connect with the breath, with the body, slowly beginning our practice tonight. So start to become aware of the breath flowing in and out of your body. Just notice the rise and fall of the chest with each inhale and exhale. And we'll start off with 2 cleansing breaths tonight. So go ahead, take a big, deep inhale. And we'll slide out through the mouth, making a ha sound. So big, deep inhale, exhale. Good, we'll do that one more time. Big breath in, exhale, sigh out through the mouth. Good, now we'll focus on taking our inhales and exhales through the nose for the rest of our practice tonight. So we'll take about 5 deep breaths here, just sitting as you are. If it feels good for you, you can bring one hand to the chest, one hand to the belly. And we'll take a big, deep inhale. So sending the breath really deep down to the low belly. And feel your hand rising on the belly as you breathe into it. And filling up the chest. And filling that breath all the way up to the collarbones. And then just as slowly as we inhaled, we'll start to exhale. So nice long exhale. And feel the chest and the belly deflate. Good. Big deep inhale again. Try and make this one a little bit deeper than the breath that came before. So really fill up the belly, breathing all the way up to the chest, collarbones. Exhale, release. So just allow the belly to soften, chest softens. And go ahead, take another big deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. Breathe in deep here. See if you can make this your deepest inhale yet. So really filling up the body with air. Exhale, let it go. Let's do one more cycle of breath here. Big deep inhale. Feel the breath flowing in through the nose, down the throat. Sending it deep into the belly. Exhale, let it go. If you brought your hands onto the body, just slowly release them back down to the knee. Go ahead and flutter the eyes open here, and we're ready to begin our practice. So we'll start off just staying in a comfortable seated position. We'll come into our side bends with the arms. So go ahead and ground down through the left hand. So just plant the hand on the mat. We'll take a big inhale, sweep the right arm up overhead. So first of all, reaching up, reaching long through the fingertips. And you can choose to stay here, maybe reach over to the side. So lengthening, extending over to that left side. A nice big stretch here. And we'll move over to the right side. So plant the right hand down, left fingertips sweeping up and over. Good. We'll start off nice and slow here. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling it's a little bit tough to get going today because it's so cold. So move into some nice deep stretches. So let's sway to the other side here. So left hand comes down, reach the right fingertips up and over. And we'll make our way back to the other side. So just connecting our breath here with our movement. So as we sway from side to side, keeping that deep connection with our long, slow inhales and exhales. So we'll go 2 more times on each side. Feel free just to go at your own pace here. If you're going a little bit faster, maybe a little bit slower than me, that's just fine. And then we'll bring both hands up overhead here, reaching long, sending energy out through the fingertips. Good. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. And then we'll release our hands by our side. So now we'll come into a little seated twist. So bringing the right hand across to the left knee. And you can just walk the other hand back behind your body. So just starting to twist the upper body here. If it feels good to turn and look over your shoulder, you can do that. Or you can keep the gaze forward, whatever feels best in your body tonight. We'll hold here for 3 breaths. All right, so after your next exhale, very slowly coming back to center here. Just bring your hands by your side for a breath. Inhale, exhale, let it go. Then we'll move into the other side. So this time, left hand coming across to the outside of the right knee. You can walk the right hand back behind the body. Maybe turning to look over your right shoulder if that feels okay. And again, we'll hold here for 3 breaths. After your exhale, we'll turn back towards center, sweep both arms up overhead, reach tall. And then from here, we're gonna stretch right out in front of us. So bringing the hands all the way down to the floor, wherever they land. And if it feels okay, you can just relax your head down. And keeping a nice stretch through the back here. So really reaching through those arms, pressing into the ground with the palms of the hand. And stretch everything out. And then we'll slowly start to walk the hands back in towards the body. Good. From here, let's draw the knees up. So just hugging the knees in towards the chest. Feet can be resting on the mat. I'm going to turn so that you can see me here. Just taking a nice round spine here. Hug everything in. And give yourself a nice big hug. And release. And from here, let's make our way over onto tabletop. So meeting in our tabletop pose. So just checking our alignment before we start here. So make sure shoulders and wrists are in line. Hips and knees are in line. And then let's keep waking up the spine here. So we'll take our cat-cows. So starting with cat, let's round the back. Tuck the chin in. And then exhale, allow the belly to drop. You can bring your gaze up towards the ceiling, point the chin up if that feels good. And then round the back again. Hug the chin in here, cat. Let the belly drop. And look back up towards the ceiling. Cow pose, big deep inhale here. Exhale, round the spine. Good, 1 more time through each here. Let the belly fall, cow. Round the spine, cat pose. And then we'll come back into a neutral spine here. Take a breath. And from here, we'll start to stretch out the legs a little bit. So go ahead and keep the hands where they are. Keep the right knee on the mat, and we'll just start to lengthen and extend the left leg long. So the leg doesn't have to come up super high here, just stretching out long, starting to wake up those leg muscles. As we're holding here, you can roll the ankle a little bit if that feels okay. Maybe take some circles in one direction, and then turn and go in the opposite direction. Hold for one more breath here, and we'll release that knee back down to the mat. And we'll do the same on the other side. So this time, stretch out the right leg, lengthening and extending through that leg. Maybe roll the ankle again if that feels good on this side as well. Move in one direction, the opposite direction. Good, and then we'll bring that knee back down to the mat. So next we're gonna do that again, but we'll stretch our opposite arm and our opposite leg. So let's start with left leg extended, right arm extended. So reaching long through the entire body. Think of energy coming from the fingertips all the way down to the toes. And then from here, we're gonna hug knee in towards elbow. So bend everything in, and we'll do that 3 times. So extend long, hug it back in. Good, send it long, and hug it back in again there. Good, you can release back to tabletop. Take a breath here, and then we'll move into the opposite side. So send right leg long, left arm reaching out in front of you. And then from here, we'll hug knee to elbow. Draw everything in and extend. Good, hug it all back in. And extend. One more time here, draw everything in. Good, release, come back to tabletop. From here, we'll move into our first child's pose. So child's pose will bring the big toes together, knees can be really wide, and then just slowly start to sit. Sitting our sit bones onto the heels, reach the hands out in front of you and ground down through the hands. So you're really pressing into the floor. And if it feels okay here, you can lower the upper body. So maybe your forehead comes all the way down to the ground. Just allow the upper body to sink into the floor. Let's hold here for 4 breaths. Again, we'll slowly start to come back up out of child's pose. Then come back into tabletop. And then we're gonna take a little supported side plank here today. So we'll start with keeping our right knee on the mat, but just turning the foot so that it comes behind you. And then extend the right arm a little bit longer. Then we're gonna go ahead and lengthen the left leg. Keep the foot on the mat though. And reach our fingertips up towards the ceiling here. So I love this one. It's a nice big stretch for the whole body again, the arm and the leg on the left side. So make sure you're grounding down, pressing into that right hand, into the right knee, reaching up long through the left side. We'll hold here for 3 more breaths. Good job. Those look great. One more cycle of breath here. And then we'll come back down to tabletop. So come back to hands and knees. I'm just going to turn so that you are able to see my other side here. So when you're ready, this time we're going to ground down through the left hand and the left leg. So left knee's on the mat. Just sweep the foot behind you. Then we'll go ahead and extend right leg and right arm. So keeping that right foot planted on the mat, lengthening through the entire right side here as we stretch. And don't forget to breathe here inside plank. And hold here for 2 more breaths. And we'll slowly start to make our way out of side plank. So come back to our tabletop. Let's take a breath here in tabletop. And then we'll start to lower belly all the way down to the mat. So you can extend the legs long here. Lower your tummy all the way down. And we're gonna come into what's called a bow pose. So I don't think we've done this one before. So if everybody wants to watch me first, I'll show you and then we'll go through it all together. So for bow pose, we'll do it 2 rounds. So if you want to do it twice, you can, or you can do a half bow. So a half bow is just reaching back for the inside of one foot. The other leg stays long on the mat. And we keep the forearm down on the one side. So that's a half bow. Or if you've done this one before and you want to reach for the insides of both feet, you can grab the insides of both feet and open up here into the back body and the shoulders. So whatever variation you choose, we'll go ahead and come into our first bow. So if you want to find a half bow or the full bow, I'm going to do half. So go ahead and reach for the inside of the right foot. I'm just starting to open up through the right shoulder here. So you can kick into the right hand, lengthening and extending. Hold for 2 more breaths on this side. Again, we'll slowly come out of it here. So very gently lower the knee to the mat, release your foot. Let's just bring forehead down to the ground. Take a breath here. And then we'll move into the other side, or if you did full bow, you can do another full one. So very gently reaching back for the inside of the left foot with the left hand. And when you're ready, take a big deep inhale, exhale, kicking the foot back into the hand there. So nice big stretch for the shoulder, into the legs as well. We'll hold here for 2 more breaths on this side. From here, very gently release the knee back down to the mat. You can let go of the foot. Let's bring forehead all the way down to the ground again. Take a big inhale. Long, slow exhale. So we'll do one more pose here from our belly. This one is an airplane pose, or some people like to call it Superman. So just gonna bring our hands by our side. So palms of the hands resting beside us. And the legs are stretched out long here. We'll take an inhale, and then on our exhale, we'll lift the arms and the legs up. So big, deep inhale. Go ahead and exhale, fly. So lifting up the arms, the legs. And as we extend here through the back, keeping the arms close to the body. So it's not so much about how high they come up, but having nice alignment with the back body here. So let's hold in our Superman for 2 more breaths. And release everything back down. So you can allow the forehead or one cheek to rest on the ground. We'll do that one more time. So just take a couple breaths here. And then if you're ready to join me in another Superman, let's bring the arms in by the side, palms facing down on the mat. Take a big, deep inhale and exhale, lifting everything up. Arms and legs coming up off the ground. Really lengthening and extending everything here so the back is working a lot. Big deep inhale, long slow exhale. One more cycle of breath here. And release everything back down. So resting back onto one cheek or forehead again. And let's make our way back into child's pose. So bring the big toes together. Knees can be as wide as feels good. Press back through the hands. Sit bones come back to the heels. Okay, so from child's pose, we'll make our way up. We'll come into our first downward dog of class tonight. So go ahead and tuck the toes onto the mat here. Ground down through the hands. Meeting in downward dog. So start to lengthen and extend here through the legs. So maybe pedal the feet up and down a little bit. Take any movements that feel good as we just start to settle into downward dog. You can bend the knees as much as feels good here. From downward dog, we'll look towards the top of the mat and gently start to walk our feet forward. So just stepping forward so that our feet land behind the hands. And then just allow the upper body to dangle here in forward fold. So let the neck and the shoulders rest heavy. You can add a little sway from side to side if that feels good for your body tonight. And from forward fold, we'll start to make our way up to standing. So take a nice, big, deep inhale as we sweep ourselves up. Reach fingertips up towards the ceiling. From here, exhale, hands to heart center. Good. From here, we'll bring our hands by our side. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. Mountain pose. So holding here for 2 grounding breaths. And choosing to keep the eyes open or maybe closing them. Just holding and breathing. And if you did close the eyes in mountain pose, you can open them again. We'll sweep the arms back up overhead, reach tall for the sky, and exhale, forward fold again. And this time we'll plant our hands on the mat and we'll slowly start to step our feet back. So come back, downward facing dog. And let's take 3 breaths here in downward dog. So from downward dog, we'll move to come into our low lunge. So let's step the left foot forward, bringing it between the hands, and the back knee can come all the way down to the mat. So from here, finding our alignment first with the legs. Today we're gonna do a 90-90 lunge. So we have both knees making a 90-degree angle here. And then we'll reach the hands up overhead. So extending the arms here, reaching fingertips for the ceiling again. hold here for 2 more breaths. And then from here, we'll leave the legs where they are, but we'll bring the hands down to frame the front foot. Plant the right hand down and go ahead and extend the left arm long. So nice side twist here into our low lunge. Reaching through the left arm. And then we'll bring left hand back down. So back where we started in our low lunge, we'll step the left foot back, meeting in downward facing dog. Good, so from downward dog, we'll move into the opposite side for low lunge. So we'll step our right foot forward between the hands. Back knee comes down. From here, find your alignment with the legs first. So make sure we've got a nice 90-90 lunge. Then we'll sweep the arms up overhead, reach through the fingertips. We'll take 2 breaths here with the arms extended. Good job, everybody. From here, we'll bring the hands back down to frame the foot. And then we'll leave the left hand on the mat, but open up through the right side body. So reach that right arm up overhead, stretching through all 5 fingers. Nice side twist. And hold here for 2 more breaths. Good, we'll start to sweep that right hand back down. Ground down through the hands. When you're ready, we'll step the right foot back. Downward facing dog. So we'll step forward with the left foot again. And this time we're going to pivot the back foot and rise all the way up. So coming into warrior 1 pose here. So just take a minute to find your alignment. So we've got our front leg coming out, foot straight in front of us. Our hips are squared towards the front of the room. Our back leg is back behind us. Nice long stance. So take a minute to lunge into the legs, really reach tall through the upper body. And then from warrior 1, we'll transition into warrior 2. So I'll turn the feet towards the side of the room first. So wide stance here, both feet pointing towards the side. Extend the arms long here. Sorry, I'm mixing you guys up. Front foot stays there. The back foot turns toward the side. So warrior 2. Sorry about that, guys. Lunge deep into the legs, reaching. So we have our upper body turned towards the side of the room. Reaching through the arms and the fingers. Good. Getting ahead of myself. So from here, we'll come into triangle pose. So we're just going to start to straighten the legs a little bit. Bring the hips back. And then reach the arms long. So wherever this bottom arm comes to, be okay with that. It might be on your thigh. Maybe it comes down to the shin. So we can have a little bit of a bend in the legs here, but should be making a nice long triangle stance. So hold here for 2 breaths. And after your next exhale, we'll bring our body back up. Now we're going to turn both feet towards the side of the room. And let's bring ourselves into our goddess pose. So turn the feet wide. We'll bring hands to heart center here, sinking deep into the hips. And we're going to hold here for 5 little pulses. So first, find your little lunge, hands at heart center. And then we're going to pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, And 1. Good job, everybody. Let's just take a forward fold. So you can bring the feet back towards the side and then allow the upper body to come down to the ground. So from here, the hands can just rest on the mat. Or if it feels good for you, you can reach your hands to the outside of the feet. Just let the head and the neck dangle. I'm going to just take a minute to catch your breath here. And then we'll bring our hands in front of us. So if they come to the ground, good. If not, they can just be extended down. Maybe they can come onto one fist. So if so, we're gonna just bring that right hand down and left arm's gonna reach up, opening through the side here. And then we'll bring left hand down, maybe to a fist. Right hand can reach up towards the side. Good, then bring the right hand down. Bring hands to hips. And then using the legs, we'll slowly start to come back up to standing. Step both feet together. Let's take a breath here in mountain pose. And then we'll slowly make our way back down to downward dog. So we cartwheel the hands down, step the feet back. I'm just gonna turn the opposite way so you guys can see me better for the other leg. So let's take 2 breaths here in downward dog. And when you're ready, we'll step the right foot forward. So coming into warrior 1 on this side. So we'll bring the hands up here. Take a minute to find your alignment. So we've got our front foot facing forward, arms reaching overhead. Back foot's coming out at a 45-degree angle. Lunge deep into the legs. Good, nice, strong warrior 1s. Those look awesome. Let's hold here for 2 breaths. And from here, we'll open up into warrior 2. So turning your upper body to the side of the room, back foot turns out a little bit, reach the arms long, lunging deep into the legs here. Don't forget to breathe. And from here, we'll move into triangle pose. So start to straighten the front leg, send the hips back, and then straighten the arms, just bringing the upper body forward a little bit. So back of the front hand can come to maybe the inside of the thigh or the shin, just wherever it lands here. Awesome. 2 more breaths here in triangle pose. And then we'll start to make our way back up. You can drop the hands. This time we'll turn the feet towards the side of the room. So bring the feet wide, turn the toes out, and we'll come into goddess pose again here. So hands to heart center. First, we lunge deep in the legs, hug the core in here. And then we'll add that little pulse in again. So pulsing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome, good job. And then from here, let's take a deep inhale, reach the hands up overhead, straighten the legs. Good, exhale, forward fold, hands come down to the mat. So if it feels good for you, you can reach the outside of the feet, maybe grab for opposite elbows. Just let the entire body dangle here. And then we'll do those side stretches again. So if hands come down to the mat, great. If not, that's okay. They can even rest on one of the legs. But we'll go ahead and send the left arm up overhead. So opening up through the left side again, reaching through the fingers. Perfect. Bring the left hand back down, and we'll go ahead and extend the right arm. Awesome. Let's bring that right hand back down. Then from here, we'll start to bring the upper body back up. So if it feels good, you can bring hands to the hips, rising all the way back up. Let's step the feet together at the top of the mat. Hands by our side, roll the shoulders up, back and down. Big, deep inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, let it go. Good. From here, we're going to move into a balancing pose. So we will do, I guess we'll start with grounding down through the left leg. And then we're just going to bring the right leg up and over and across. So make sure you have your wall or chair in case you get a little bit wobbly to stabilize yourself. So ground down through the left leg, right leg coming up and over. And then with the hands, you can be holding out to steady yourself, or you can bring the idea here is to bring the left arm underneath the right here. So this is called eagle pose. So it's pretty challenging. With the arms, you can also just reach for opposite shoulders, or keep your arms out by your side, wherever feels good. It's a really challenging one here. So let's hold for 2 breaths wherever you are. And release. So step the feet beside each other. We'll reach the arms up overhead. Big inhale. Exhale, bring the hands back down by your side. Great. We'll move into that on the opposite side now. So starting to bend the right knee a little bit, let's pick the left leg up and over. Your legs can just be crossed at the knee. And then choosing what feels good with the hands, whether you do the wrap or just bring hands to shoulders. Maybe you want to bring hands on your hips. Wherever feels good for you, hold and breathe for 2 more breaths. Awesome. From here, release. Bring the hands, hands by your side, step the feet together. Nice big inhale, reach, arms up overhead. Exhale the hands back beside the body. So let's do one more balancing pose here. I'm just going to turn to the side. So we'll start with grounding down into the right leg. We're just going to pick that left leg up. So if you can bring your hands underneath the thigh, awesome. Maybe on top, wherever feels good. And again, if you need your wall or chair to steady yourself, go ahead. Just going to hold here for 2 breaths. So as we're holding the leg here, think about having a nice tall spine from the crown of the head all the way down the standing leg. One more inhale. Exhale, release that leg back down. Good. Maybe pedal the feet out a little bit. And then we'll ground down through the left foot. When you're ready, picking up the right leg. So grabbing on either behind right thigh or maybe on top of the knee. Keeping a nice bend in that left standing leg here. Tall spine. We'll slowly start to release that leg back down by our side. From here, let's sweep the arms up overhead. Nice big inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the hands down and we'll step it back. Downward facing dog. Good. We'll come into one more nice big stretch for the legs on each side. So we'll step the left foot forward and the right knee comes down to the mat. So actually turn around so everybody can see this better. So I've got my hands planted on the floor and then left foot comes to the outside of the hands this time. Hopefully everybody can see there. Then the back leg just rests on the mat. So this is a really nice big stretch. This time for the right side, the right hip flexor. If it feels better to keep the right leg bent more of that 90-90, go ahead. But if you do want to extend the legs, you can lengthen it out here. So we've got our front knee bent. That knee can be hugging in towards the left shoulder. And we'll breathe here for about 3 long, slow breaths. All right, so we'll slowly start to make our way out of this pose. So just start by walking the back leg. If you had it extended, bring the knee in a little bit closer. And then when you're ready, just come into tabletop. So come onto hands and knees for a breath. And I'm gonna turn back the other way while we get ready for the other side. So when you're ready to join me, let's step that right foot forward. So now right foot is just outside of the hands. So both hands grounded into the mat. Choosing here, if you want to keep the back leg, you can have your knee just resting on the mat, or if it feels good to lengthen and extend that leg, go right ahead. A nice big stretch here for that left hip flexor. So we'll hold here for 2 more breaths. And then we'll start to come out of our lizard on this side. So if you did extend the back leg, tuck the toe, bring the knee in a little bit closer, and then step your right foot back. So let's take 2 more breaths here just in our tabletop. And then from tabletop, we'll turn over, coming all the way down onto our back. So laying down onto the back. And then we're gonna hug the knees in towards the chest. So give yourself a nice big hug here. Hands can grab over top of the shins. Maybe add a little rock from side to side. Should feel really nice for the low back here. And then we'll release our grip, bend the knees a lot here, and we'll come into happy baby. So for happy baby, you can just bend the knees, grab to the outside of the feet. And if it feels good, you can add a little rock in, maybe sway from side to side again. Now let's hold in our happy baby for about 3 more breaths. And so as we start to come out of happy baby, just release the grip on the feet. You can bring your hands down by your side and we'll straighten the legs. So lengthen and extend the legs and flex the toes up towards the ceiling. If you want to take one last little roll out with the ankles here, you can move them in circles, go in one direction, and maybe turn and go in the opposite direction. So just getting rid of any last snaps and cracks that might be holding on in the ankle joint. And we'll start to make our way into our final resting pose, Shavasana. So very gently and slowly bringing the legs all the way down. And just start to extend the legs out long on the ground. So stretching the legs out, let the heels rest heavy. Toes can turn out naturally. Just let your arms rest by your side, palms face up. Start to close the eyes and settle in. And so Shavasana is probably the most important yoga pose. That's where we get to just relax and soak it all in, just enjoy everything we just did. So allow all the muscles, all the joints, everything to just relax and let go. Release any tension you might be holding. Allow the shoulders to melt into the mat. Back of the head, rest heavy. Notice if you're holding any tension in the jaw or the face. See if you can let it go. Allow the hips and the back of the legs just to rest heavy. Allow the whole body to feel relaxed and at ease. So very slowly, just beginning to bring a little bit of movement back into the body. So maybe just starting to wiggle the fingers and the toes a little bit. And then when you're ready, just starting to roll over onto one side. So just allow yourself to rest on the side body. The knees can be bent. You can keep your eyes closed if that feels best for now. And whenever you're ready to join me in a comfortable seated position, we'll end off our class today just how we started. So finding comfortable cross-legged position. Bring hands to heart center. And thank you all so much for joining me and participating in yoga tonight. I hope you all had a good time and you have a great rest of your evening. Namaste. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.